Christian McCaffrey is supposed to be good to go. Debo's a little hurt. Bosa's a little hurt. Christian's questionable, but that's just because they haven't activated him yet. They just haven't activated him.
Did I call him Debo Samuels again?
Oh, you
Garrett?
always do. Yeah, and I never correct you because I think it's hilarious.
Sorry, Garrett.
No, I don't apologize for that. If he wants to be referred to by the correct name, win a Super Bowl. I don't know. Okay, Christian McCaffrey. We don't know how healthy he really is. How will you go about trying to ascertain that fact?
His usage. One thing about it, and I hate to say this, is that we had a conversation on the 4-man front about, what will Kyle do when will Kyle finally wake up? It's just like the age-old question, right? And we already know, like, we tried to like dress it up, but you came in and completely like pile drive the topic and was like, no, he's not going to change. You know who Kyle Shanahan is. And really, I tend to believe you. Right now, in my opinion, there's two things. We already know a constant, right? When you start an experiment, you need a control. You need something that you know is not going to change. So you can ascertain the changes off of the two experiments that you're trying to run. Right now, the control in this experiment is Kyle Shanahan's ignorance, his pigheadedness. He will not change. So we know for a fact that this will always be true. So if Kyle Shanahan will not change, we understand that Christian McCaffrey will get 20-plus touches in this game against Tampa. It's built for it, right? And he will do that. However, if we do not have Christian McCaffrey having 20-plus touches, in my opinion, then that means that Kyle himself is forced to start packaging Christian, which means that he's not at 80% or 90%. He's more at like 70%. And even Kyle, who, if he wanted to, he would just run the ball, Christian get an angle route, Christian get a China route, Christian go to the outside, throw a pass for 5 yards, but really it's down to Christian. All of the touches that we know he'll do. If he has to break away from that and we see him actually using Jordan Mason, a little bit of Isaac Arendo coming in, right, to try to fix a couple of things, then in my opinion, I think that that's not something that Kyle wants to do. I feel as though that if Kyle starts kind of using court running back by committee, it's more likely that Christian isn't necessarily as healthy as we expected him to be. So those are my two ways with it.
I feel you. I feel like I'm expecting him to be 100% healthy. I mean, he hasn't played football in a long time. It's not like he's gotten banged up. He's just had tendonitis and soreness. And from all accounts, the soreness hasn't been there in a while. So he should be fresh and ready to go. The question is, like, how cautious will they be? It's not about like having him play through pain. That's not what they're asking him to do. It's like, okay, he hasn't felt pain in a week or whatever. Like he's been practicing for a week with no pain. Like, does that mean you're going to give him the green light to have 20 carries? Are you going to be cautious like you were the last 2 months? Or is the fact that Debo's compromised and Bosa's compromised mean that you're going to say, hey, Christian, like, we need this game. You feel good, right? You want to win the game for us. That's scary. Because I don't know about you, but like watching Christian the rest of the year, I'm kind of nervous. Like, I don't want to watch him pop his Achilles on, you know what I mean? Like, be careful with this guy. You just took every precaution known to man for the last 3 months. Sort of stick with that theme, I would think, because it's bigger than just this game, this season.
I mean, you kind of talking out of both sides of your mouth now. Yesterday, you just said that Kyle's going to Kyle, essentially, right?
I'm saying he should. I just think I know Kyle for who he is. I think he's going to do it.
So let's just
Christian feels good. We got to win the game. Play. That's what they're going to do. But like, if Christian pops his Achilles in the first quarter, like Kevin Durant did on the Warriors, I mean, like, Kyle's going to come out crying in a post-game press conference. He'll be in tears.
Well, hold on. Now, I also believe that, there's obsolescence. Like, some things don't deserve to be like forever, right? Running backs don't last forever. Basically, my point is that if Christian McCaffrey ends up, like, God forbid, like incurring like a catastrophic injury, like re-injuring his Achilles or whatever, how much do you really blame Kyle for that? If it's happening in the first quarter, that means kind of like He
True.
was never going to be ready all season.
True.
There was never a time to really bring him back. He was
True.
going to get hurt anyway. Not to sound dogmatic about
Well,
it.
you could argue like, man, he had 1 week of practice and you brought him back. What was the rush? Although we're going down hypotheticals that haven't happened yet.
That's cap. That's cap. That's not the narrative. The narrative is that Christian McCaffrey himself is out here saying that he could have played against Dallas if he really wanted to, but they actually took the time to be precautious so he could be ready for Tampa. So if we're keeping the premise the same, if Christian was to hurt himself within the first half or the first quarter against Tampa Bay, with that narrative, they've already done what they can do to make sure this kid is okay. If he's not ready to go, they should have put him on IR. Now, if you want to blame Kyle for shutting him down, period, that's a discussion you can have. But if we're talking about playing, then we already know what the stakes are. Christian knows it too. So getting hurt is just kind of collateral damage, in my opinion.
But if he gets hurt in his first game back after just 4 practices, I guarantee a lot of people are going to be talking about, did he come back too soon?